you're not at 10 vehicles for the month, you're putting a lot of effort and you're putting a lot of responsibility on your shoulders going forward into the end of the month. Next week being that is the end of the month. That's it. We hit Friday and the close will be Saturday, and then we're right back at it in June. And the challenge with this time of the year is that we're ending the second month. Now we're 2/3 of the way through the second quarter of the year. This is our best time to sell automobiles. And again, if you're not at 10 vehicles for the month, you're putting a lot of weight on your shoulders going forward towards the latter portion of the year. And not to say that the second quarter is over and done. June will hopefully turn out to be a fantastic month for you. Summertime is often a really good month, but the problem with summer is that it becomes a little unpredictable with holiday schedules. And that is the reason why we put on employee pricing and so many of the other surge events in order to captivate and capitalize on those that aren't going away or have returned from holiday or went on holiday and decided that they need a new car, truck, or van in order to be able to enjoy next year's holiday. That being said, I thought negotiation would be something at top of mind for all of us right now, going into the end of the month in this third quarter, ending the second month of the second quarter. Pardon me. And the challenge that I find average ordinary automobile salespeople experience, those that are struggling, maybe even on the floor for 6 months or more, some of you for 10 years now, and having gone through the inventory shortage and the pandemic protocol and how terrific that was when we had no inventory and a high demand of consumers running in and wanting to buy our product. Now we're faced with a traditional market on the other side of the equation where customers are shopping around. There's lots of inventory on the ground now. There is no threat of inventory shortage. There's a concern that prices will go up as a result of inflation and tariffs and taxes, and the list goes on and on. The bottom line is that's always been around. I can remember when I started in the automobile business in the 90s, we went through price increases on a monthly basis because the Canadian dollar fluctuated compared to the American dollar and vice versa. So if you've been on the floor for 6 months or more and you're struggling to believe that every shopper is a buyer and you are just not getting the support that you desperately want and need, you feel like you're competing with colleagues as opposed to being a part of the team, like those around you are looking at you like you're going to sink or swim, especially during negotiation, and you're taking clients when it's a pack of wolves out there. They want to take your clients from you when you haven't closed them. Maybe you're in the right place right now, right here at the Auto Sales Academy on Facebook and the Auto Dealership Academy on LinkedIn. What I find is negotiation doesn't work in 12 different variations. And this is what average ordinary automobile sales trainers don't talk about. In fact, a lot of negotiation teachers and trainers who believe that they are specialists at it really don't facilitate this very well either. They don't talk about the time that negotiation doesn't work. They just talk about the rules and the procedure and how and the steps that you take. And that's all great. But if your timing is off in negotiation, if you deliver a negotiation tactic that maybe somebody introduced you to, your manager, coworker, a high achiever that is one of your peers, and they said, just ask the customer what it'll take. After you've shown the vehicle and you've driven them in it, just ask them what will it take to earn your business. Not that that is a bad tactic, but used out of timing, used when it is misaligned, it is a horrible tactic. And the reason being is that a customer will tell you what it will take to earn their business. And they'll say, I want to pay nothing with no money down forever. And it's not unreasonable, because if you were purchasing an automobile, you may say the very same thing as well. So this made sense to me when I'm thumbing through my feed on Facebook, specifically Marketplace. And if you followed me for some time now, I'm an outdoor junkie. I love the extreme sports. I race and ride mountain bikes. I race and ride motorcycles, dirt bikes, off-road vehicles. Boating is a passion. Fishing, obviously, is a passion. And bushcraft, I think, is just a great activity that I mix into those other activities when we're way out to have a nice hot lunch, more than just a sandwich. And the bottom line is, I see in my feed a Can-Am, which is a power sport product. If you're not familiar with power sport, there's ATVs, there are UTV, utility vehicles, there are side-by-sides, and they're more like a dune buggy. They're more like a real automobile. And we have, in the Six Figure Manifesto, the Auto Dealership Academy, we have a number of power sport people that sign up for it. They go, look, we need automobile sales training. The sales training that we get from our manufacturer, Polaris and Can-Am and Arctic Cat and Yamaha, it isn't suitable because we've far exceeded what those trainers' capacity is. The North Star for Polaris is a $75,000 fully equipped vehicle now. And the reason why I bring this up is I saw this Can-Am for $99,000 on Facebook Marketplace. Now I see two problems with that. Number one, I don't know how many people are shopping Facebook Marketplace for a $100,000 side-by-side vehicle. But let's assume that they are having traction with it. Somebody does call up, or better yet, walks into the showroom and says, I'd like to buy that vehicle. If whatever they sell has a markup of 10, 20, 30, 50, 100% markup, then is it rational and reasonable to think when we ask a silly question like, what will it take to earn your business today, that they think we can cut the price by half because whatever they sell has 100% markup? Or they can negotiate a 20% discount with us because whatever they sell has a 50% markup, and they're still making money at that. And so the only time that you can use this, what will it take to earn your business tactic, and I hear it far too often. I was in a dealership the other day and I'm listening to the sales manager do a 2-minute turnaround with a salesperson who obviously didn't get the sale, and they were doing an autopsy of why it didn't work. And he said, look, at some point you got to ask them, what will it take to earn your business? And the problem with it is that it gets asked prematurely. So as opposed to leaving it till a last ditch effort as a negotiation tactic, which I actually think the talk track is very effective, and I've used it very consistently as well, timing is the secret. Putting it at the very end of your negotiation, a very exhausting negotiation, you can have terrific traction with what will it take to earn your business. But putting it in the very beginning, before you've done a product presentation, demonstration, even trade appraisal, it's absolutely career suicide, unquestionably. And so I hear it a lot of times being delivered as a tactic to use, but never talked about timing and when you, in fact, want to use it. So give some thought to that, and making sure that whatever anybody shares with you, you know when to use it. The other thing that I like hearing is if the numbers aren't agreeable, I don't expect you to buy, or if the numbers aren't right, I don't think that you would do anything. And while the talk track is pointed and it does appeal to the customer's sense of urgency if they don't have a whole lot of urgency, but it sympathizes too much, in my opinion, with what they want to do. Always remember, the customer made a decision today that they thought about purchasing your product. They talked it over with someone who will support their decision. And then they did an immense amount of research. As we well know, Google tells us people shop for, on average, 6 months. So there are some people pulling that average down and some people pulling that average way up, like into the 2 and 3 years of research. The bottom line is, if the numbers aren't agreeable, I don't expect you to buy. Again, timing is crucial for this talk track tactic. If in fact you're going to leverage it and you want to know how to negotiate better, that if you deliver this tactic at the very end of your sales presentation, following presentation, demonstration, trade appraisal, and now you're trying to close the deal, and this is the line that you deliver up, it just lets the customer off the hook. It completely destroys everything that you built up to this very point in time. And this is the reason why I'm sharing with you the things in negotiation that we've been taught, albeit to be effective and helpful, don't work. This is where average ordinary automobile sales trainers, including our coaches, be it the sales manager or a peer, or maybe you have a mentor within your dealership, are failing us. That if the numbers aren't agreeable, must come at the very beginning, almost as a greeting when you meet the customer in the showroom, when they look nervous, when they're apprehensive, when you approach them, they say, hey, don't waste your time with us. We're just kicking tires, wasting time. We happen to be in the area. We thought we'd pop in. Look, every single customer would trade in and up for newer, shiny of the latest and greatest technology, protected by a warranty with better fuel economy and electrification if they knew how affordable it was. Every single one of any motorist, even non-motorist. I got to think anybody riding public transportation would absolutely love to be driving along in their own automobile with their own climate control settings and their own radio station playing. I know they would if they knew how affordable they could do so. So for them to come into our dealership right now and have a look around and just kicking tires and wasting time for something to do, when they know that you have the ability to talk them into payments they can't afford, colors they don't necessarily like, features that they don't need, this is the last place in the world they want to be. That is the reason why car shows are so popular. And of course, we place the car show at the most popular times of the year, right at the beginning of new model year announcement, if it is in fact an outdoor show. And that's a meeting with new car manufacturers, or inside, where during the winter cold months of Q2, we bring people out from the cold inside to have a look at their next new automobile that they may buy that day, this quarter, probably in the second and third quarter of the year. And that's where we are right now. So if the numbers aren't right, we want to put that right at the beginning of our greeting. The next one where we find negotiation fails is when a customer prematurely makes an offer that we can't necessarily believe that is the number that they would like to go with. And worse than that is when you solicit an offer out of the customer. So for instance, if a customer were to come in and despite your best efforts to get them out to a vehicle selection, which would be your interview process, to a product presentation demonstration, or even just to take their vehicle in a trade, and you're just getting hammered with a barrage of best price questions. The biggest mistake that I see average ordinary automobile sales trainers make, and their mentors and coaches advise them on, is get an offer out of the customer. Now, where I started my career, and I do training in that group, I'm so honored to be able to do so. One of the worst pieces of advice that I got from the sales manager, who was not my mentor, the owner of the dealership was my mentor, and his son is my mentor. To this day, we're good friends and colleagues and associates in the industry, and they're clients of mine, and I'm a supplier of theirs, is get an offer, we'll work it at the desk. And the problem that I experienced, and maybe you went through this or you are going through this right now, is that when you get that offer, it's the same as the previous one. If the numbers weren't agreeable, you wouldn't buy. When we ask them what they want to offer, it's going to be the same thing. No money down, no interest, forever. They'll tell us exactly what they want to pay. And because we've experienced a price increase during 2020 and 2021, radical price increase, hyperinflation, to the tune of 42%, it has gone up quite significantly. In order for you to get payments affordable on a 2025 when someone is driving a 2018 automobile, which, keep in mind, that is not really old. At 2025, we're just not even 6 months into the year. So that would be effectively a 6.5-year-old vehicle. Maybe at 72 months, it's paid for. You've got an uphill battle when you talk to someone who has no payments on their vehicle and you say, what would you like to offer? What would you like to pay? That's why they tell you nothing, no money down, no interest. I just want to drive away in your new one. And I find it frustrating to hear mentors and coaches and teachers leverage this line so out of place. What you want to do is suggest the offer that the customer should make. And that way you are in control of the negotiation. You're not in control of the sale, because what's happening is you're going to provide choices. You're going to suggest $500 off, then $250 off, then $50 off, in order to get them to the point where they make a reasonable offer. If you ask the customer what they want to pay, they're going to knock it by 20%, knowing full well in negotiation, if I set my goal high, I can always accept something low, which means I'll ask for a big discount, especially if they ask me to do so. And then anywhere in between, I can arrive at the small and the low discount. And this is the reason why automobile salespeople frustrate consumers. Average ordinary automobile salespeople struggle to sell 8 to 10 a month. And this is what we teach in the manifesto. This is particularly step number 5. This is a very, very brief snapshot of the plethora of videos that are no longer than 10 minutes in there and give you all the talk tracks that you can leverage to overcome these objections. Now, here's another reason why negotiation tactics fail that we're so accustomed to and hear all the time is that we're not negotiable. And I'm starting to hear this a whole lot more as we move forward into the tariff times, let me call it that there is unquestionably a misconception in all countries that governments impose tariffs on other nations in order to level the playing field within their country. And the misconception is that, well, there's a misconception of truth, if that makes any sense. That would be called, oh my gosh, a paradox. So we're talking about the same thing, but going in opposite directions now. So on the one hand, the tariff is to level the playing field, and that makes sense. So if any country is selling goods into another country, and because of the dollar exchange, it can be sold considerably less, that makes it difficult for goods to be manufactured and sold in that particular country, and I get it. So by imposing a tariff, it brings that up to a level playing field. In the event that there is actually something being produced in that country, it's something to compare to. So that is the theory behind the tariff. The misnomer is that a lot of people, especially our consumers, think that the government imposes that on the country that is selling into their country. And that is not the case. That tariff goes on the product that comes into the country that you and I buy. And that is the reason why so many politicians say, you know who's paying for the tariffs? It's just a tax like any other. And this is where there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace, and the reason why our prices are going to rise so significantly, because as manufacturers decide to rewrite their planning for 2025, the balance of 2025, 26, and 27, recognizing the price of automobiles may go up by $4,000 to $7,000 right across the board. You and I well know on a 6-year contract, a 72-month contract. Well, let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's go to 84, 7 years. You just added to a pickup truck $7,000, so $1,000 a year at 0% interest. If you can get an 84-month 0% loan, divide that by 12, and we're looking at $83 a month added to the payment of that vehicle. And this is what manufacturers are so concerned about. They know that we're already at a threshold and the economy is not exploding. It is receding. People are battening the hatches and tightening down. And therefore, we may wind up at another inventory shortage. And this is where we may become less negotiable. And by telling a customer we're not negotiable is going to offend them. So as opposed to not being negotiable, we just want to make sure that we're on the right vehicle right out of the gate and that it is affordable, and sharing with our clients why putting down money or considering lease financing versus conventional bank finance is a great idea in order to get to the payment that they would like to have. I always think it's great putting money down. I like putting my customers in an equity position. I like shortening up the term to the shortest term possible to have the payment that they can afford, because that increases the trade cycle. Hence the reason why lease financing became so popular in the 90s and into the mid 2000s until the credit crunch of 2008. So don't shy away from that. We are non-negotiable. Leverage the principles of scarcity and urgency. This is the only one that we have. If you do want to order, we certainly can, but that will be subject to the price increase, and we have no idea what the price increase is at this time. All should help your client make the decision that they want to make, because keep in mind, they've thought about it, talked about it, researched the marketplace. They're coming in to see you now. They don't want to wait 6 months to see if the tariffs make them less expensive. They want to get the vehicle now. They want to tow their trailer, tow their boat, go away on vacation in their new vehicle with a totally protected payment and keep that momentum going by not saying, we're not negotiable. You got to pay list price or nothing at all. And if you don't like it, get on with it. And we'll wait for the next person to come in. Work with them on it. Never start negotiation. Here's another one for you. Never start your negotiation prematurely. And that would be asking the customer how much they want to pay. That I find comes up quite frequently. Here's the thing. You want to talk car or truck or SUV on your feet, which means product presentation, demonstration, trade appraisal. And you want to talk price in your seat, which means interview, purchase consultation, negotiate, and closing. And the reason why I put it to you like that is that when we're out on the lot, we can be showing a various number of vehicles and ones that are affordable and ones that are more luxurious, and the list goes on and on. But when it comes down to monthly payments and narrowing down to a hard and fast figure, now we can talk about things like, do you see any reason why you wouldn't be approved for our most preferred term and our most preferred interest rate? Did you plan on picking the vehicle up today, tomorrow, or by the end of the week? Planning on driving it home, in other words, planning on owning it, taking delivery. When we feel like it is necessary to ask the client who is especially beating us up on how much is my trade worth, or what's your best price, or we're just shopping around right now, give us a great price and we will come back. We like everything we see. We like you. We like the dealership. We want to buy in this brand. We've purchased here before. By soliciting an offer from them, by not knowing what to say. And this becomes especially true with pre-owned or with an exclusive vehicle that is coming down the pipe and arriving on your lot and there isn't a price on it. So by asking the customer or saying, I don't know how much it is, I can go and ask the manager, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Now they feel like, okay, I'm dealing with an unconsciously incompetent salesperson. Or you say to the customer, I don't know how much it is. What would you like to offer? Or you say to the customer, this is the very best one of the entire bunch. I think this is the one that you'll win with, because let me tell you what it is. By suggesting to the customer that this vehicle just arrived, I have a feeling you have done your research and you know where you want to be in terms of dollar figure. Give me some idea of what you think is a fair number on this car. Now, in the back of your mind, be it new or used, you have a rough idea of how much it's going to go for. It's a 60th anniversary Mustang. You know that's not a $30,000 Mustang. If it is the new Challenger that is now widely available at most Chrysler dealer lots. When it first arrived, the electric Challenger, that's what I'm talking about, the electric powered one, you got a rough idea of where it's going to be. It's probably going to be somewhere between $60,000 and $110,000, depending on the trim level. So if a customer were to offer you 25 or 30 or 40, you've got a feeling that it is not going to sell for that. And therefore, you could say to them, I think we're on the wrong vehicle. What we should probably be looking at is, they will tell you what they want. They'll bring the focus back over to you. No, that is the vehicle that I want. You asked me what I wanted to pay. I've told you that. You may not have said those exact words, but here's the thing. You could have a customer that is one of three types of negotiation. A matcher. A matcher is like you. This is the individual that the conversation flows easily. You like talking to them. It's very enjoyable, and that's why we call them matches. They're like you. You are aligned. There isn't a whole lot of negotiation necessary. You've built the value bridge. Unquestionably, they want what you have, and you're going to finalize the deal. So move to a close. When would they like to pick it up? That's easy to do. And they may say to you, what kind of a discount can we expect? You say, at this point in time and the desire in the marketplace, and you're going to leverage scarcity and urgency as much as you possibly can, you don't want to suggest negotiating. There is no need for you to give up your gross at that point in time. Always remember, the happiest customer is the one that pays the most. So don't volunteer it when it is unnecessary to chase down. On the other side of the equation, we've got a mismatcher. And the mismatcher is the individual that is experiencing fear when purchasing the automobile. And the fear is that they don't wait and they could get a better deal down the road. So all we need to do is allay that fear that we all pay the same price for the vehicles. Nobody gets a better deal or a bigger discount. Well, we're all on the same page. When our dealer, when our managers, when our owner goes to the franchise meeting, the big one every year that the manufacturer hosts, I mean, they share all those statistics and numbers. Every dealer gets to know what the other guy's gross is. We know who's giving away the vehicles and who isn't. You probably know that as well. So with a mismatcher, all we want to do is allay their fear that they can't get a better deal down the road. And this is where we can solicit an offer and make sure that we're on the right vehicle and it is affordable, because what they're going to tell you in terms of a dollar amount is what they can afford. And this is where you can discover very quickly you're on the wrong vehicle. And this can happen at the interview before you do the presentation, which is ideal, or afterwards when you have facilitated the presentation, they hit you with this really low number. You've got to think quickly and go, okay, follow me, and take them out on the lot and start showing them other product that fits that number. So they say, no, I want the one you showed me. I just don't want to pay that much. And you have to share with them, you can't do anything about it. It's math. This is how much it costs to produce it. The reason why you like it, it's higher in the product line. And if it is a model above, it makes a whole lot more sense. There's lots to sell. If they're trying to lower their monthly payment over the vehicle they're currently driving, and then share with them the innovations that have come along and the features that are now in that vehicle justifying the price. And that's the value bridge, right? So stay tuned for the product presentation where we build that value bridge and I share with you those presentation secrets. Then we have the mismatcher with differentiation. The mismatcher with differentiation is the individual who is experiencing an enormous amount of pain when purchasing this automobile. So the matcher is the one that's experiencing the most desire. They all have the desire for your product, and that is the reason why they're there. But they all have varying levels of fear and pain. And so the pain isn't so much a motivator as it is overshadowing the fear and the desire to own the product. And the pain could be the problems that could arise and the reason why it is necessary to have a warranty. And this is most applicable to pre-owned. The pain could be the interest rate, and if they waited long enough, maybe a 0% interest rate will come on, the ideal term for them to make it more affordable. The pain could be the tariffs don't actually come into play, as Canada announced that we will not have any tariffs coming into the country, but the US still is imposing tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And maybe the American government will change that tune in the days, weeks, months, and quarters to come, and they just don't wait long enough. They don't have a crystal ball in order to be able to see that, know when that is. And so it's painful to on the one hand, really want our product, on the other hand, not wait the appropriate amount of time, recognizing the vehicle they're currently driving could last, even though they would really like to have the new one. That's the mismatcher with differentiation. And that's the wishy-washy customer that frustrates you the most. So you really got to help them make the decision and suggest that, never suggest to anybody in the showroom that prices are always negotiable. There's always wiggle room. You can hint at that, but always suggesting it with every single customer that walks in. All you simply do is you compromise your gross and you erode your commission. They're eating your lunch. I don't know why you're buying someone a dinner that you're not going to go out for dinner with, but that's entirely up to you. But you can leverage that prices are always negotiable, there's always wiggle room, as a hook for phone and e-leads. And then of course, once they get in the showroom, you share with them, that wouldn't hold you back from buying the vehicle that you'd like to go with, even though we don't have that much wiggle room. That is a great way for you to overcome and negotiate without having to be non-negotiable, asking a question that gives you commitment that they're going to move forward and want to buy. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy, the Auto Dealership Academy on YouTube and here on LinkedIn. I hope you've really enjoyed this. And if you want to know more specific these talk tracks and how to leverage them, there's 12 reasons why negotiation in the automobile business is so fragmented and doesn't work and holds you back from selling 10, 20, and 30 vehicles per month, because it's not your fault. Either you didn't get the training that you so desperately need, or the training that you got is outdated and it's ineffective and it just doesn't work. And I know that. I've heard that. I've seen it. I've attended the seminars. Heck, I attended seminars 2 decades ago where I go, that tactic would never work anywhere, be it Canada, US, or any other English speaking country that sells automobiles. So if you want to know more about our 6-figure income manifesto, I'll put a link below where you can click on book a call with me. 15 minutes could change your life. It's absolutely free. If you don't want me to sell you something, just put in the comments, please don't sell me. Just tell me how to overcome. I want to think about it. Just tell me how to do better product presentations. Tell me where I can fill my own pipeline, get more customers. Tell me how I can leverage social media better to my advantage. Tell me how I can close at 1 and 2. I'm happy to do that for you. This is my passion, to help 10,000 salespeople this year reach their maximum potential. It was my objective last year. We got close. We didn't surpass it. This year, I really want to surpass it. So if you're a member of the Auto Sales Academy, book a time. It's free. You're already following along with these sessions. Book a time. If you're not following us in the Auto Sales Academy on LinkedIn, join the Auto Sales Academy private members Facebook group where you get to see all these videos and so many more, as opposed to thumbing through your feed on LinkedIn. And if you really want to organize all of these videos and find them timelessly forever, because Facebook has changed the algorithm and now pardon me, these videos will only be up for 30 days. Join the Auto Dealership Academy YouTube channel, subscribe, turn your notifications on, click on that bell to do so, leave a comment, tell me that we're doing the right things, or ask for more help in this particular area. I'm more than pleased to help. And of course, if at any point in time you're just frustrated at that point where you're scared to talk to customers, you're just scared to get the no. And that's why I'm covering this right now in negotiation. You just don't want to hear the no. So we ask crazy things, or we don't even ask for the sale. If you don't believe that every shopper is a buyer, if you feel like you're competing with colleagues out there on the showroom floor, like they've thrown you out there to sink or swim, they're hoping that you'll sink. If you feel like you're competing with your colleagues and you're just not getting the support that you desperately want and need, and you really, really want to hit your automobile sales targets, in fact, you want to surpass those targets so that you can earn a great income, go on a swanky vacation this year, buy a cottage, a pool, a boat, an RV, a mountain bike, a dirt bike, a snowmobile, an ATV, then book a call with me. Now that I'd be happy to share with you the 3 phases and 9 steps that we have to help you achieve your maximum potential. It's inexpensive. It's easy to do. You're not looking at $10,000. You're not looking at $7,000. It's not $5,000. I know you weren't going to pay that. It's not $4,000. For $29.97, you get lifetime access to me personally. You can book as many one-on-one calls as you wish to make sure, and we warranty your success, make sure you hit your targets. Every single week prior to this class, you get a PowerPoint presentation with exactly how to achieve the sales targets and volume that you want every Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And those are recorded and they're hosted on our YouTube channel for specific clients like yourself. You'll find lots of free training on our YouTube channel, but you'll get so much more on the inside, the inner circle, as we call it. And then, of course, our online on-demand, available 24 hours a day on any desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone, all for only $29.97. It's an absolute bargain, in my opinion. It's foolproof. If you just simply do the actions, you cannot fail. And just like Jen Schurters went from struggling to deliver 8 vehicles per month to now consistently selling over 20 a month. Chandler Price, you'll see his podcast video on our YouTube channel. Same sort of thing. Military ex-vet, new father, looking to break into the automotive retail world. Absolutely no support from his manufacturer or from his dealer. Joins the program, and in less than 60 days, 15 cars a month, and 90 days, over 20, and never given up that spot. Rebecca, who is a star performer, second in the nation with her particular manufacturer, fresh out of university and college, did not want a sales career, It was post-COVID. She got offered a job, took it, utilizing it basically as a springboard. Now in love with what she's doing what she loves, top performer in the nation, and just thoroughly loving it. All these stories. Kelly's story is in there. Dominic's story is in there. Lee's story is in there. Book a call with me. Happy to share all those details with you. I'm way over the half an hour mark now. Have a wonderful day. There will not be a session next week. We'll resume in June. So look forward to that and all of our posts that are coming out. There'll be lots of value posts in the private members Facebook group of the Auto Sales Academy. And then we'll have some posts coming out on LinkedIn in order, and not to sell you. All this stuff is to help you do better. And at some point, you will reach out to us. You want to learn how to maximize your Facebook account, how to create a YouTube channel, just like my colleagues in the strategy mob at the the Dodge Father and General Motors Jeff. We put everything we possibly can into figuring out how these apps and algorithms work for you. And there really aren't courses and programs to teach that. There's lots of advertisements. You'll be bombarded with advertisements in your feed. And if your smartphone, microphone, camera is on right now, it's listening, and you're going to hear people professing and pontificating about how they can teach you to make 7 and 8 figures by posting on Facebook and on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. And the bottom line is the automobile business is different. We sell the second greatest financial decision that people make in their life. And I think it's the greatest financial decision they make, because you only buy a house every, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, sometimes just in a lifetime. But you buy an automobile, your customers come in and purchase an automobile every 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So give that some consideration when you're looking forward to someone who can carry you over the finish line and really deliver the goods that you're looking for. And that is a swanky vacation, terrific retirement, loving what you do, doing what you love every single day, all the time, with thorough enjoyment, selling friends, family, as well as walk-ins, phone-ins, e-leads, and service department upgrades. Again, my name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy on Facebook, the Auto Dealership Academy here on LinkedIn and YouTube. Have a wonderful day, terrific end to the month, and I look forward to seeing all of you in June. Bye-bye for now.